What's good, y'all? So I've been thinking for a while now to restart the YouTube channel, but I want to make it a little more casual, right? And I've been seeing a lot of videos online of people just making videos while they're in their car and just talking. So I guess this is my Yap channel or something, right? So those of you who have been here since 2019, when I used to make those day in the life of a tech bro working at Amazon style videos, I don't want to just make tech bro content. I feel like I have a good amount of information in that regard, but I also want to talk about other things. Again, this is just going to be like a Yap rant channel sort of thing. We'll see where it goes. But when it comes to working in tech, especially as a new grad in this day and age, bro, it is so cooked. I'm sorry to say, but for new grad, especially software engineer, UX designer, researcher, forget about it. Especially if you're trying to go into UX or product management, the roles for that were so limited even before this whole thing happened. And now it's just even more, right? When companies are looking for new grads in these fields, whether it's SWE, UX, product, dude, they're gonna have a bias. They're gonna have a hiring bias. They're gonna go for people that are at the top school that have those 5 internships, basically Waterloo kids, right? Over someone who doesn't have any internships. If you got internships under your belt, I think you still stand a pretty good chance, but in general, it's just like a really bad market, even for people that have experience, right? Now, with that being said, if you have been on the market, let's say you graduated from a good, it's not like in the top 10 in the US rankings for the best computer science schools, which I think are all BS anyway, but people, again, they have their biases. If you graduated from a decent school and you're 6 months from graduation, right? Because I'm assuming a lot of people graduate like May, June timeline, right? If you're looking right now, I would still say keep on looking, right? The number one advice I'd give is to broaden your horizon. So if you wanted to become a software engineer and you're only applying for back-end jobs, apply for everything that's software engineering related. But then I would also say go beyond that, right? So if you see new grad implementation consultant, technical implementation consultant, dude, apply for those too, right? Now for anyone that is beyond that, right? At this point, if you're already graduated, if you're beyond 1 year and you're still applying for a lot of these new grad roles, a lot, especially now, and this was kind of the case before too, because applicant tracking systems, they would have AI and all that kind of stuff. If they see that you're graduating before whatever the 2025, 2026 graduation date, fam, you're cooked. I'm sorry. Those ATS systems, they're gonna screw you over, right? You can do that whole cold approach. I'm gonna hit up the university recruiter on LinkedIn. I see their posts and all that kind of stuff. Dude, those guys are getting flooded. I'm sorry, they're getting flooded. I don't think it's gonna shoot your shot, but don't rely on that, right? Again, I know a lot of people have seen that Neat Code video where he's crashing out, basically saying that so many people are just expecting handouts. Don't expect handouts, especially now. Never actually expect handouts in life in general. But especially in this economy, in this job market, no one is gonna give you anything, dude. You gotta work for it, you gotta hustle, right? And speaking of working and hustling, I think that if you are trying to get a job in tech, I think that if it's been over a year, right? If you're on that 11, 12 month timeline, the one field that is still hiring new grads is going to be sales. Now, hear me out. I know you grinded your ass off for 4 years to get your CS degree, to get your informatics degree, to get your computational, technical science, whatever degree. But listen, if you have been looking for that job, that SWE job, that software job for a year and you haven't landed it yet, bro, this is your foot in the door. I'm saying this is, you got 2 options at this point. If you're over 1 year in and you haven't been able to land a job, right? Or you haven't started your own freelance side gig business or whatever, dude, first and foremost, you need to start making money. All right, you gotta get your money up, not your funny up, all right? Unless you can use your funny to make money, all right? But listen, if you're not making any sort of money that's not like, oh, I got a part-time job at the Starbucks or I got a part-time job at the grocery store or whatever. No, if you want to get a job in corporate, right? And I'm not saying that's for everyone. I think you should break into sales. And I think that breaking into sales, one, it teaches you a lot of skills. It gets you out of your comfort zone. I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people, this is a yapping rant channel or whatever, right? One of the biggest things that a lot of people that work in tech, they complain about, oh, dude, I don't have any friends. Dude, I can't get a girlfriend. Oh. It's because your social skills are dog shit, dude. That's why. And breaking into sales will make you more confident. It's going to make you more confident. So you're going to get a lot of pluses outside of your work life, outside of just making a salary, right? It's going to make you a lot more confident. You're going to be able to handle rejection very well, right? And rejection is the biggest thing you've been facing for the last year, right? So when you want to break into sales and they're like, hey, why do you want this job? You can basically just say, oh, I've been dealing with rejection for a whole year, so I think I can break into a tech sales job. Tech sales is the most cutthroat thing right now, but if you can get your foot in the door, I see so many people pivot, right? People who break into sales, right? That's how they get their first marketing job within corporate. That's how they get their first product job. If you want to break into solutions, which is also sales adjacent, it's a great way to break into that as well. And a lot of companies, they even have those programs of, hey, we have like a technical apprenticeship. You're already working some sort of non-technical job in our company right now. Bro, apply, right? Or it's just a good way to be like, hey, listen, I've been working this job for 6 months. I initially had a computer science degree, but I wanted to break into the tech industry. I saw, again, this is to the hiring manager, right? Hey, I want to join your team. I saw you got an opening for a new grad or a recent graduate or within 1 to 2 years of experience, CS role, can I apply? Dude, that's so much easier because the hiring manager, he's going to check his Slack messages and actually reply a lot more than he would for a cold LinkedIn approach because you're already in, fam, right? So there is that. Also, if you genuinely you're just in it for the money, bro, because I know so many people that get software jobs and they're just in it for the money and they're absolutely miserable because they're like, dude, I hate it. I have no social life. I just stare at the screen all day. And then I just go on Slack and then I say, oh, code review looks good to me. Push to prod, right? Dude, you're just in it for the money. Sales is the perfect job, right? Because all you're doing is you're just meeting with clients. Depending on the company, you get to travel. You can basically go out with your clients. You can wine and dine them out. Of course, we are Muslim, brother, so no wine. That's haram. But you get to travel. You get to take them out, right? If you're good enough, you close the big sales deals. Of course, you're not doing this in the beginning. You're doing all the cold calls, all right? You're doing the cold calls, you're doing the cold emails, you're saying, hey, I saw that you're the director of data intelligence at this whatever insurance company. What's your current stack looking like today? Hey, I'd like to get you on a call. If I can get you on a call, I'll give you a $50 Amazon gift card, right? You're doing this kind of stuff on the daily, and your goal is to book the call for the account executive so that the account executive can basically get that fat commission check. But you do get some of that. Don't forget that. You do get some of that commission check, right? Dude, I know some SDR or BDRs, right? You can look up what the difference is between the two. And dude, you're clearing well over 6 figures, man. So you're sitting in Texas, for example, you want a UT, you're living in Dallas now, you're back in Houston. I know Austin's a little more expensive, but dude, you've been looking for a job. You want that 6-figure tech job? Dude, if you grind as an SDR, BDR, man, you can clear 80, 90, upwards of 100. I've seen some of the big AI companies, man, they're giving their BDRs OTE, which is on target earning, 130K plus, no cap. So dude, if you're just in that grind mode and you're like, I'm grinding to make that bag, you could probably clear more, up to 130K, if not more. Now, a lot of these jobs are also going to require you to come in office, but I will say sales has the most flexibility. Because a lot of companies, they'll probably require their devs or PMs or whoever to be in office, but salespeople, because you got to remember, a lot of companies, they segmentize their sales by, I don't know if that's even a word, by region, right? So they got East Coast, they got Central, they got Mountain, they got Pacific, right? So because of that, if they're like, dude, our office is in New York and our sales guys aren't trying to do like a 6 p.m. Eastern time sales call because the client only has openings at like 4 p.m. Pacific, they're going to be chill with you being remote if you're based in the West Coast or something. That's if like companies headquartered in New York and not San Francisco. But it might be the same way other around, in San Francisco, and they're like, dude, like they'll have a freaking 5 a.m. meeting Pacific time, which is 8 a.m. You can get that flexibility, which a lot of companies aren't giving anymore, right? A lot of companies that were remote are becoming hybrid. And a lot of them that are hybrid are now becoming full 5 days a week in the office, right? Just like I'm going to right now, brother. But so I think sales, it'll chew a lot. It'll give you a lot of good social skills. Now, if you're worried, like you're a Muslim like me, right? You're a good boy. You're doing your namaz. You're doing your roza. You're fasting. You're praying. Of course, big culture in sales. I will tell you now, man. I will tell you that they are very of when you give them boundaries for religious reasons. So don't that be a hurdle, right? Because I remember I would go to like this kickoff meetings and stuff, and like, oh dude, we're gonna go out with this client, man. I'm be like, hey, listen, like, I drink alcohol. I don't feel comfortable sitting at where alcohol is being served just for religious reasons. They're like, oh, totally understand. They don't serve alcohol. A lot of the times, bro, like you see like my workers, they would like come at a hotel or whatever, and they just be like their mind next oh, I regret that. Muhammad, why don't you go out with us, bro? I tell them like, yo, like I'm like, we don't drink or nothing like that. Like, dude, mad respect for that. And becoming a thing with Gen Z too, like, drinks a lot less than millennials, Gen X, boomers, all that sort of stuff, right? So if you're a Muslim and you want to break into sales and that's your worry, bro, like about it. Now, in terms of resources, there are a lot of great resources, right? There's all the different job boards, of course, LinkedIn, Hiring Cafe, Indeed, whatever, I'm sure if you're, right now there's, has, what is it, like Handshake? Now, there's also like Slack, there is WhatsApp groups. If I find any, I'll link them below. If you're trying to break into like that sales environment, like sales, become a sales engineer, solution consultant, architect, there are a few companies that do new grad programs. I would say they're extremely, especially now post-COVID, where like technical thing became popular. They have the pre-sales collective. They have something called the pre-sales academy, right? Where they'll train you. It's like the same thing as like a boot camp, and like a sharing agreement if you make like over K in job. Usually the people that they get are already experienced in the workforce. Surprisingly, a lot of teachers are in that program. But going there, that's a really resource if you want to break on the more technical side of sales. But again, there are a lot of people who, salespeople, the regular account executives, SDRs, BDRs, and whatnot, and then they very transition into becoming, the technical pre-sales side. Of course, is very good, but if you're a big commission guy, not as much commission in role compared to a regular sales role. So that's it for my rant today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want more, let me know. Just experimenting with video format, but peace.